It's crazy, but it is upon us. The last week of the regular season. That is nuts. Thanksgiving's around the corner. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. We're not going to get back into the food discussion because some of y'all didn't like that. Y'all didn't like that. I don't like a lot of those dishes. We'll stay away from those. Speaking of not liking something, I got an amazing text today, which led to an amazing conversation. So it was a back and forth with a head coach out west, with great uniforms and a huge brand that backs him. A guy that came from the SEC, and we had a very spirited back and forth text message for probably 30 or 40 minutes. And then finally it was like, all right, I'm just going to call him. And it was the discussion between Big Ten versus SEC. Because if you saw the tweet I put out there about certain coach, certain leagues, it's how I feel. But let me tell you how I left the conversation with this coach. I think he made a lot of sense, and I like what he said. Okay, the 9-game conference. Well, first of all, here's how the conversation started. I got a text, and it said the last matchups in the last 2 years, Big Ten versus SEC. So you got Ohio State beating Tennessee, USC beating A&M, Michigan beating Alabama, Illinois beating South Carolina, Ohio State beating Texas. That was in the bowl season. And then you got Missouri beating Iowa. So the Big Ten has had a lot of success. The Big Ten has 2 national championships in back-to-back seasons. So there's a lot to discuss, and that was how we started the conversation. And then it got back and forth, and the 9-game conference schedule came about. And here's the thing. Let's talk about that. 9-game conference schedule, which means you play more people in your league. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Sometimes I think it's luck. Sometimes it's who's good, who's not good. But here's another thing. One conference has 18 teams, one has 16. The Big Ten, they have more teams. So they obviously have more teams that aren't very good. Like, that's going to happen. If you have more teams, naturally, that's going to put it at stake. So that was a big indicator. And I think the one thing he said about the SEC doing 9 games, I think they're absolutely going to cannibalize themselves. Absolutely. Like, it's going to be a problem for them moving future. They're going to regret themselves doing it. The SEC will regret going to a 9-game schedule because the debate at the end of the season now is going to be 10-4. And another thing he said was, preseason polls. If I was ranked in the preseason poll right now, they'd probably be ranked in the preseason poll. I can give a little bit on that. Like, I can get down a little bit with where you're ranked preseason versus where you're not. So it just got me thinking. I will say this. One thing that we've talked about here that we will continue to talk about. When you talk about the SEC versus the Big Ten, the SEC has back-to-back, or the Big Ten has back-to-back championships. They hold that crown. Like, and the gap has continued to close with NIL. Like, we talk about the best players on a lot of different rosters. They come from all over the place. They leave schools all the time to go get paid. Nothing wrong with it. Best defensive player on Ohio State is Caleb Downs, right? Like, and we could go league for league. NIL has definitely changed that. Back-to-back champs matter. 79 draft picks for the SEC last year, 71 for the Big Ten. So that's pretty close. Now, again, 18 schools versus 16. And so, I'm going to leave this because we're not going to go into all this, and we could probably do this in the offseason and be a little bit better. But it was a great conversation with a great coach that's got his team in the top 10, obviously, and done really, really well. 10 guys, 10 teams with at least 4 guys drafted last year from the SEC, 7 teams with at least 4 guys drafted from the Big Ten, 6 teams with at least 7 draft picks, 3 teams with 7 or more draft picks from the Big Ten. Again, you got 2 more teams too, so the talent spread out a little bit more. But Washington, Illinois, Purdue, Michigan State last year, 1 draft pick. Whiskey, Indiana, Nebraska 2, Minnesota, Rutgers, USC 3. And if I want to put the cherry on the top of it, what I said with this coach to end it was talking about, okay, tell me about atmospheres. You want to go play in this atmosphere? Maryland had 6 guys drafted a year ago. You want to go play at Maryland or you want to play at LSU at night? Do you want to play at Auburn? Do you want to play at Auburn where last year A&M walked into their place and it was a zoo with 90+ thousand people that are psychotic crazy? It changes the game and the atmospheres. So unbelievable conversation. Appreciate the coach a lot. He's a stud. He's a great dude. Brent, I see you. You got something to add to the conversation? He's a good dude. I love the coach, but he's an absolute stud.
I just want to know if you asked him for a helmet.
No, I did not. I did not. Hey, which one would we want? Which the combinations are plenty. But hey,
you could go honestly, with any of them.
It was a great conversation. It was a great conversation back and forth. And the text messaging, I was like, all right, dude, like, I'm going to call you because I don't want this to get off the rails. Like, because I'm not getting upset. And I didn't think he would either. But I love that dude, man. He's such a stud.
I will say that conversation, that singular conversation, is probably the one that invokes the most vitriol.
Oh, yeah.
In college football at the current moment.
Yeah.
And I get it. I will say, like, from a conference standpoint, to me, every conference is tough because you play teams consistently, coaches learn each other, all the things with that. Road games are tough because of typically because of the environments. But I do think the one thing for me was always, and even like, is Florida a bad team right now? Yes. Florida's a bad football team, and their record is bad. But are they talented enough to, if they have a good day and they start feeling good, to just dunk on you like they did Texas? Yes.
Well,
I don't know that that exists top to bottom elsewhere.
One of the conversations that we had, and it was a big agreeing from the other side, was South Carolina's got a top 15 pass rusher, a first-round quarterback, and a bunch of other guys that are going to get drafted. You're not going to see that at a bunch of other schools. Like, you're just not going to see that in a lot of schools in the Big Ten. Here's the thing. In the end, Ohio State, you got nothing to apologize for. Oregon, you have nothing to apologize for. And you guys are throwing draft picks out there with everybody else. And so, like, it's not you that we're talking about. Like, it's the teams that you're playing against consistently. Like, you look at Illinois put another loss up this past week. Like, Ohio State, again, is searching for an opponent that we want to respect, like, that we really want to say a lot about. And we go, okay, well, Texas is pretty good. Okay, different league, obviously. But it's a fascinating debate. It's a lot of fun, and I respect the heck out of that guy. I just hope we get to
see more of the interconference matchups.
That's the easiest way to cure this. But I do think what he said about 9-game conference schedule for the SEC, you're going to regret it. It was not a smart move for business. If business is getting more teams in the playoff, I think you're going to end up hurting yourself. All right. Speaking of business, Mike Norvell, FSU, they make a business decision. They announced the timing now. They announced they're going to keep him. I think there's plenty of factors that goes into this. FSU is probably frustrated because I think it just ask yourself, like, okay, like, as an FSU fan, like, are we trying to get to the next level? Are we trying to go out and get a great coach? I thought this was really, really interesting because when you ask that question, like, are we good enough? This is Norvell's 6th season. In the 5 seasons previous, the 5 seasons he's completed, 3 seasons he didn't make a bowl. And then they have that 22-23 run where 23-4, ACC champs, should have been in the playoff, got absolutely hosed. So what the heck happened? Like, how did we fall so far off a cliff to go 2-10 2 years ago? Not this year, last year. And then this year to go play at Florida and go, we got to win this to get to a bowl game. Like, how did it get there? And I think that tells a lot. I talked to an FSU fan the other day, and they're like, I'd rather have the other guy we had. I'm like, you don't even know his name. Like, the Willie Taggart guy. And I'm like, okay, like, y'all come to that? Like, you're that frustrated? But here's a couple things to keep in mind about FSU. One, you just gave your facilities a facelift, which was much needed. It was much needed. But when you spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a facelift to do all that stuff around the program to make it look better, that's a lot of money you're spending. Now you have to go pay the second biggest buyout in the history of college football. Second biggest buyout. Like, if you paid Norvell $50-something million to go away, only the previous FSU coach, his buyout is higher, Jimbo Fisher, at A&M, not at Florida State. But I think here's what FSU is doing. I think they like their recruiting class. They got a good recruiting class. But FSU is spending money on the front office. FSU is spending money on the scouting department. Like, They're going to try to get better around the coach. The world has changed so much in this new era. You see a bunch of people getting rid of coaches, paying a lot of money. You saw Wisconsin said they want to invest in players. I think FSU investing in the front office, investing in scouting, invest in players. Like, here's what Norvell has to do to me. Like, he's got to develop these guys better. You shouldn't have a 2-10 season at FSU. Shouldn't happen. You got to find a way to win close games. You got to find quarterbacks that you can bring in. It doesn't have to always be a transfer portal guy. It can be, but like find some high school kids. It's not like you don't have, any funds or any history. You've got some of that. So I think if I'm FSU, I'm a little bit frustrated, but if I'm FSU, I'm going, dude, I need 7 to 8 wins consistently. Like I'm in the ACC. It's not an elite league with a bunch of guys where it's murderer's row. I'm FSU. I should win 7 games. I should win 8 games. So I think he's got one more year. I think he's got one more year to develop that and see if he can figure it out. And if not, the Mike Norvell experience is going to be gone. I'm going to give you this quote, though. I reached out to a coach that coached against Norvell several times. Hall of Fame coach. Hall of Fame coach. Like this dude, you would know his name if I told you his name big time. And I said, what kind of a coach is Mike Norvell? What do you think about this decision? He said, as a coach that has competed against him for many years, he said, he's tough, he's smart, he's a good communicator, he has good integrity. He said, I think they were smart to give him another year. Who can they hire that's better? And that's always the question, man. A lot of people paying a lot of money to get rid of folks. Who are you going to go get? And I think FSU making a conscious effort, we're going to make the system around them better. The front office, the scouting department. Like, let's get a system in place. And if this isn't our guy, like if we've got to pay him to go away because his contract's through 2031, if we got to pay him to go away, we're in a better spot. And here's a note to self. Every school around the country, stop paying these coaches all these long contracts. Stop giving them big bucks for 10 years, for 8 years. Like, give them big bucks. But don't give them 10 years, man. That doesn't make any sense to me. I wouldn't do it if I was making the decisions. So Mike Norvell stays in Tallahassee. FSU fans, I wonder how you feel. Hit the chat up, man. Like, I'd love to see if you guys like that or not. Would you drive him to the airport? Would you want to keep him? I think it's probably going to be mixed reviews. But he has won. He put together some really good seasons. Can he put together a few more? All right. We do it every week, baby. The top 12. And again, this is our top 12, so kick rocks, go away. You can do your own top 12 if you want to, and you can share it wherever you want. Again, this is as of if the playoff rankings were done, and we're releasing them to you. Ohio State still very much number 1. Got to rest their 2 receivers this week, no problem. Still got to take care of business, not even challenged, didn't break a sweat. Didn't give up 100 yards rushing again for 10 straight games, which is amazing. I think this is the first time they've ever done it in Ohio State history. Indiana cruising, Indiana at 2, A&M at 3, Georgia at 4. So, again, that's exactly the same from the top we had last week. And guess what? More non-changes. Ole Miss at 5. Texas Tech at 5. That's exactly what we had last week. We had Texas Tech up there. Not going to be prisoners of the moment. It's not going to change from 1 week. Number 6 is Ole Miss. Hotty Toddy continues to win. Now, listen, I think it's going to be absolutely fascinating when we look at this and we're going, what the heck's going to happen in the playoff? Is Lane Kiffin there? I mean, crazy, unbelievable, weird event, like something we haven't ever seen. But it's probably going to happen, so strap it on. Number 7, the Oregon Ducks. Quack, quack, big win. Took care of business against USC, showed their physicality, took some serious injuries. And I look forward to seeing more about the injuries as the week goes on. But that's a nice win. That's a really nice win against USC, who's still going to be ranked in the top 18 probably in the rankings when they come out. Numero 8, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's still up there with one of the hardest schedules in the country. Have beaten, again, at least 4 teams that are ranked, beat Michigan out of conference. Did a really good job with the schedule. The material injury is still very much a thing, whether you want it to be a thing or not. But Oklahoma, it was ugly. It wasn't pretty. Offense wasn't great, but they took care of business. So Oklahoma at 8. Numero 9, Notre Dame. Wait a minute. Yep, Notre Dame just scored again. They just scored again. They scored 700 versus Syracuse, and it was a good day at the office. So no reason to move them. Still, people are going to get upset with that. Absolutely, 100%. Going to not like where Notre Dame is ranked. I think they're a really good football team. I think they've done all the things to take care of business to this point. And again, four points in 2 losses early in the season. You can feel however you want about that. Alabama at 10. Huge game with Alabama coming up. Like, huge game. It makes me think of Ace Ventura, man. Like, I have exorcised the demons, right? Like, there's a lot of House of Horrors at Auburn, at Jid and Hare. And so, big week for Alabama. And we got to go Virginia at 11 because guess what? ACC, baby, you got to have a team in it. Georgia Tech loses. They fall back. Georgia Tech's, the ACC's kind of been like our group of 5 team, which you see Navy. Why? They're not the highest ranked team? No, absolutely not. But guess what? We're just going to throw another one up there because that's what we're doing. That's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to continue to just spin a wheel, put a different person in there every single week. So that's our top 12, baby. It's a lot of interesting things to look at, but man, you can feel pretty confident about a lot of teams on this list and their schedule this next week. And again, I'm not sure there's not 7 teams on that list that can't lose and it's okay still. And that's what's pretty interesting. Like 1 through 7 on my list, if you lose, you're probably still in this thing. And then you're talking about Oklahoma's obviously got to win. Notre Dame's got to win. Alabama's got to win to not let the other folks out. Virginia's got to win to stay in the ACC hunt, which the ACC we'll talk about in a second, which is unbelievable. Like there's still 4 teams very much alive. So the top 12 continues to be fun. Tomorrow night we'll do the rankings and then get ready for some turkey after that. But all right, we do it every week. We do the locks, we do the eliminator, and we're gonna kick some teams out. So, Brent, I would love to be positive, but we had to switch. We just went positive with the top 12, all those teams that are in. We didn't talk about teams that weren't out, but team that is out, Georgia Tech. I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech. It's over, man. It was still a great season. It was still a great season. Still have a chance to play spoiler. Brent Key should be proud of his team in the way that they reload. They lose guys every single year. You look at Singleton going place. Like you're going to lose guys that are going to get paid somewhere else, but their roster and the way they've done business, really, really good. And Haynes King, he's just been unbelievable. Like he's been ridiculous, and he deserves so much credit for what he's put together.
But they're not going to the playoff.
But they go.
Yeah. USC, for me, that the third loss for them, that was the one. And that's what's going to be interesting tomorrow night when they do the rankings. Does anything actually change? Because the top 14 teams won. Like USC at 15 was the first team that was ranked and lost. Do you think that Oregon, because of that win, somehow jumps either Ole Miss or Texas Tech in the CFP rankings that it comes out tomorrow night because you jumped them 2 spots from where you had them a week ago?
Yeah, I think that it could because, again, right, wrong, or indifferent with this committee, the losses have really mattered. The lack of losses for certain teams has kind of overridden the big wins. They have. And so you add a big win for Oregon and you still have the 1 loss. So I do. I think it's going to continue to matter. So do I think that way? Probably not. Like I don't think that I think it's a combination, which again, that's why all this is always so hard because there is no formula that makes it make sense. Don't give me the BCS because people will be complaining about the BCS too. Like we've always got something to complain about. But this is why I've said from the beginning and took a lot of heat, by the way, when I was at ESPN, when I made certain comments about certain people on the committee, dude, I want people on the committee that are all football people. I want people that have coached. I want people that have played. I want people that have been in football. Their tenure in football is so extensive and so long. They've seen all the new school, all the old school. I want retired coaches like crazy. I want assistant coaches. I just think it makes the most sense because, and again, I want balance. I want different leagues because we all have a set of lenses that we look things through that are a little bit different, and that's okay. And we want that because we want healthy debate in the room.
I will say most of this stuff is actually predictable. Like there's a great follow on Twitter at college football professor Adam McClintock.
You would do a professor. Look, Mr. Professor over there himself.
Well, him and Dave Bartu, they do it like analytic, like they do that sort of stuff, and they show them all the metrics, and they have metrics that, and their projections have been sort of right on the money, basically, throughout all these years of doing this. And they show it afterwards, like, hey, projection. The thing I've always just said is, all right, all that stuff that they have, the metrics that the committee has, just show it on TV. Like, I don't ever see it on TV.
The ACC under the hood. Can you imagine the ratings, the committee under the hood? Broski, like, could you imagine what number that would do on a network to have like, you're watching these guys debate this in a room. That would be mother freaking glorious. Like, how awesome would that be to listen? Oh, no. Like, fans would lose their stuff. They would be excited. They would be happy. They would go back and forth. That would be the most amazing television ever.
So I heard, like, they were talking about the Chiefs Cowboys might get like $50 million potentially on Thanksgiving this week. I think that many. I think every college football fan on the planet would watch that 30-minute show of just them looking at their metrics and seeing the screen and debating and talking, and like maybe if they went and grabbed like a one, like the NBA draft, they go and they put the card in the thing. Maybe if they did that, I mean, I would be like a kid in a candy store. That's one show. I watch very little television. I watch games. I don't watch pre-games and stuff like that just because I like my thoughts. I would watch the piss out of that. Like, yeah. I would set my DVR to that every single week. Like, all right, couple other questions though. Texas Tech wins out. You think they're in the top 4?
I don't know how the committee's going to handle the conference championship games and if it's going to really, really matter. If they went out,
I think they will be.
If they went out, to me, I think they should be a top 4 team. And I say that because you're going to play an extra game. And again, for everybody who's not Texas Tech fans and not watching from the Big 12, they lost the game with their backup quarterback. Like, their backup quarterback lost. That's the game they lost. They also beat the crud out of Utah with their backup quarterback, which is another topic. Don't get me started on the Utes. But I would move them up. I would absolutely, I think, put them at 4 if they win their conference championship.
Potentially even higher, I think. Indiana, let's project ahead. Let's just say it's Ohio State and Indiana. They're both undefeated. Ohio State takes care of Michigan this week, which is still obviously
very much
which is an if, especially recently. And we're going to talk about that later. But if it's the same result as last year, like where it's, what was it, 34-12 or something? I mean, it was
beat down,
but it was still pretty handled very much from Ohio State. Do you think Indiana drops out of the top 5? Because I actually was thinking about this scenario today. If that happens and Indiana would maybe drop to 5, what if JMU is the group of 5 team at 12?
Signetti versus his old squad.
Signetti versus his old squad in the playoff.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. Potentially a happen thing. But do you think they drop out of the top 4 if that's the case? If that result is the same as a year ago?
If they get beat down by Ohio State?
Like if it's a 20-point game.
Yeah, I think they should. I think they absolutely should. If you're going to go to the conference championship game and you're going to play a good opponent, which you haven't played a lot of good opponents, and you get boat raced, we're going to take a step backwards. Like that's the way it works. That's the way it should work. That's the way it will work for me. How about this ACC mess though? Could we get 0 teams from the ACC?
No, I don't think so.
That would be incredible because it could happen. To be
Duke
clear,
is technically mathematically still alive.
They're 100% still alive.
Crazy scenario
let's talk about the ACC real quick. So let's boil this down to nuts and bolts. Like, you got 4 teams that are basically in it. Like, Virginia, win and you're in. SMU, win and you're in.
You're in.
Right? Now, Miami plays Pittsburgh, and then the winner of the Miami-Pittsburgh game needs a little bit of help from one of the other 2 teams, and then they get to crash the party. That's the easiest way I can describe it to you. But again, the problem in this discussion with the playoffs is Tulane keeps climbing the rankings. JMU keeps climbing the rankings. And if they get ranked above a team that wins the ACC, Brent, they could feasibly be sent home. They could be feasibly be sent home.
I don't think so.
If
There's no way that
if
happens.
Duke somehow got in with all that craziness, they could be.
Well, so, okay, that's the only way. That's the only way
Yes.
it's even possible. You'd have to have, and because you'd have to have 2 G5 teams because it's 5 conference champs. So
Yeah.
that's the only way possible. Because there's no way that Virginia, SMU, whomever wins their last game and then wins the conference championship, that those guys aren't ranked. Yeah, that's not happening.
But it's cool because Virginia plays Virginia Tech, which always means something at the end of the year. SMU gets Cal, and then Pittsburgh and Miami. So, like, that's your rooting interest, what you're looking for the ACC and how that gets decided. But Miami's got a long shot, but they look like the most they look like the team that could do the most damage. Like Miami physically could probably match just about anybody. Now the injury's starting to add up on their defense too, but I think Miami's probably the only team that would scare some people, that could beat a really, really good team in the playoff. Otherwise, I'm not sure that would happen. But how about Wesley? What's up, brother?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure Corey Con Queso, you've been speaking a lot of Spanish on the show tonight, by the way. Corey Con Queso literally translates to Corey with cheese. He says, thoughts on Notre Dame making another title run. They look more dangerous than last year. Love the show. Thanks, Corey.
Corey, we appreciate that, and everybody loves queso. Who doesn't love queso? Now, I do bring my own chips to the Mexican restaurant when I go eat queso, if I'm going to eat queso. Yeah, why would I not bring my own chips? I bring my own chips because they're not fried. They're mine. Like they're good chips. They're great chips. I mean, you can make fun of me if you want to, Wesley, but I bring my
No, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just every day I learn something about you that either disappoints me or just completely flummoxes me. So
that disappoints me. That's fantastic. Appreciate you, Corey. But yeah, Notre Dame is dangerous, and their offense, I think, more dangerous than a year ago. I don't think their defense is as good, but they can beat you through the air. They can pound it, obviously, with Price and Love, and Love working his way to New York. All right, Brent, numbers me. Let's get some numbers.
Hey,
we do it every week.
DP, I got one more quick thing on your Navy edition here that I don't know if a lot of people know.
Okay.
Army-Navy is after the committee announces its rankings. It has no bearing on the deal, on the whole shebang.
Yep.
I mean, does Navy potentially get punished because of that? I mean, that's a data point that they don't have.
They don't have yet. Yeah, they don't have. And that game, the best game, if you could go to one game in any season, that's the best game to go to. The pageantry is incredible. It's through the roof. It's so cool. It's really, really awesome. But all the stuff before the game, everybody in uniform, the competitions, the pranks that they play on each other during the week, it's second to none. But I think it would hurt. And I don't think Navy's going to be the team, but I've made it very clear. We're going to put every group of 5 team that's even remotely in the mix in that spot at least one time. Navy, the midshipmen get their spot, baby. So let's get weird. But when they play Army, my Uncle Gus was in the Army. I'll always pick Army. So we'll pick Navy this week. All right, Brent, numbers me.
They would have to play a playoff game potentially 6 days after that game. That's amazing.
Fantastic.
Just a random thing to Corey's question there, making another title run. I tweeted on September 30th because somebody had looked at the odds for the national championship. Notre Dame had the 12th best odds on September 30th. So I said, I'd take a flyer on Notre Dame. I have a feeling we might see a national championship rematch. That was on September 30th. So that was short. That wasn't all these other games later. So I agree with Corey very much. They can make a run and win.
Glad you went back to September 30th.
It's just, that was a long time ago. That was way before all these wins they've had, hey, all right. Pro Football Focus. I've worked for them for over a decade. In terms of promo code GetBall25, you can get 25% off PF. And actually, I think go to the website now. I think there's a even better deal, Black Friday deal. Maybe it's like 40 or 35%, something like that somebody could get there. So I'm going to give some numbers for a quarterback here, and I want to first ask a question here. A quarterback, just blind quarterback. Number 2 in overall and passing grade, PFF passing grade. Number 1 in big time throw percentage. So in terms of how many throws they make, big time throw, highest graded throws. Number 1 in yards per attempt, 8th in yards, 5th in touchdown passes, who also has over 700 yards rushing and 8 TDs. Does that quarterback sound like somebody who's a Heisman finalist?
700 yards rushing.
Yep.
Oh. Is that Pavia?
That is Diego Pavia.
Yeah. I'm not
Number
surprised.
2 in overall and passing grade, number 1 in big time throw percentage, number 1 in yards per attempt. All the
700 rushing, the 700 rushing gave it away, but the nuclear last 3 weeks for like we gonna get nasty here on this show in a week probably. Like whenever that is, if they beat Tennessee, like we gonna have some conversations. Like it will be very fascinating. The debates are going to be good between BYU, between Utah, between every single team that's on the periphery and the fringe, because I don't think you want Vanderbilt to continue to do what they're doing, like because they look like a really, really complete team right now.
All right. So let's get to some of those matchups this week, rivalry week. First one, the game, right? In Ohio State, Michigan, 4 straight losses. You always talk. What's the stat you get? Please tell me the stat that you give as it relates to this game.
20-plus years in a row, the team who have rushed for the most yards have won this football game. That's asinine, bro.
That many years, yes. But there's also an element of that where, to me, I would say.
What do you mean? Yes, that's a big deal. Yes.
But you know better than that.
You know what's amazing to me is Mr. Numbers Guys just wants to take my number that I like to give out there, 20 straight years of something happening. I'm like, yeah, but no.
20 straight years, the team that's taken a knee at the end has won the game too. Like usually when you're winning, you run the ball more. That's like, it's not necessarily
so every team that wins always rushes for more than the other team. Oh, okay, I got you.
No, it's not always the case. But anyway, like I went and looked back at the games. So last year, Michigan was up 7-3 early in the second quarter. They never trailed again. Like, so they're running the ball. 23, they never trailed. 22, they led basically the entire second half. Their first 3 touchdowns were on long pass plays. Do you remember that? All the big plays that J.J. McCarthy had at Ohio State that year and those sort of things. So, and then 2021, Michigan led the entire second half. 2020, they didn't play. And then 2019, Ohio State took a lead with like 8 minutes to go in the first quarter, never trailed. So these teams, they're playing from ahead early, and a lot of it has to do with passing,
the weather,
and explosive plays.
The weather is a bit. I was talking to the coach I was talking to today earlier that I talked about, hey, how about Michigan winning at the end of the year? I'm like, no, coach. Like Ohio State's biggest weapon is nullified. Like when you play in those conditions, the fact that you can't throw the football, wide receiver like the weapon's out wide, it's nullified. Like if they played in the beginning of the season, this would be totally different to me. Like if you played when it was better weather, but it's not. And that's the game we're going to play. And the team up north, according to Ohio State, keeps whomping that hiney. So I'm excited to watch this game, man. Like this, they could take out a couple years of frustration in this one.
All right, so the question for this game, and I've got a couple numbers, and we'll get to the question. Let's hit that. Last 3 years. So last year, they pressured Will Howard on 50% of their dropbacks. Ohio State had 2 picks. Previous year, over 30% pressured McCord, 2 INTs. Previous year, a little over 20% pressured Stroud, 2 INTs. Julian Sayan's been pressured about 25% of his dropbacks, but he has the second highest passing grade under pressure. He's only got 2 turn-worthy plays, and he has the number 1 passing grade and completion percentage when he's been blitzed. So can Michigan truly pressure and affect and impact Julian Sayin in this game?
Yeah, and he's been good. And Michigan does a great job, man, with their pressures, and they show things and hide things. But, like, I think it's going to be amazing. That's a good number, and that's a good matchup. But, like, Michigan's offense, man, like it's not humming. It's not humming. Like it just doesn't look good. Bryce Underwood, like it's been a slow creep the other direction. The only thing that matters to me, and we'll get into this, like the one number that's going to make the most difference, Bryce Underwood rushing. Because I bet you the dude will carry it 20 times if he needs to. Like Justice Haynes, I hope he's back just for their sake, and I hope he's healthy enough. But I know it's probably not going to be a chance he's going to tote it 20 times or 30 times. But Bryce Underwood's legs will decide the football game. Can he run the football consistently?
And that's why I focus more so on Michigan's defense, because I think Michigan, from an offensive standpoint, it's like, okay, we have to win a low-scoring game, so thus we have to make sure that Ohio State's offense doesn't
Stays off
get
the
rolling.
field. Yeah.
Yep. Alabama at Auburn. You already talked about the craziness. Iron Bowl. So Ashton Daniels obviously did not play last week, so he could preserve the red shirt deal. But the previous week, when he played against Vandy, and it was an up and down, back and forth, a lot of yards game, he had an 83.4 overall grade and a 78.5 rush grade. Had almost over 450 total yards, 4 touchdowns. That's the highest graded game at quarterback for Auburn since. Who do you think was the previous highest graded game at QB for Auburn in a Power 4 game?
Throwing or period?
Just overall.
Nick Marshall.
You went too far back. Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
And it was actually the game he got hurt, because he got hurt there towards the end of the season against Mississippi State, right late in the second half. And then TJ Finley took over, and I think TJ Finley played those last couple games where they almost beat Alabama, kept them out of the SEC championship game almost that year. But the question here for this is, can Auburn score enough? Is the offensive performance that you saw against Vanderbilt, do you think that's real with Daniels playing QB, or is that a blip?
I think it's more of a blip. I don't think it's as real, which is why I think they might need the young fella that you saw last week. Like
Deuce.
I wouldn't have played Deuce last week. I would have saved him for this week. But you got to get the Deuce loose a little bit, right? Like I think he's a big sucker that can run, man. Like, and this is gonna sound so strange, but like, I don't need that much in the passing game. It's not like Ashton throws the ball elite. Like, can he manage the game? Yeah, but like Deuce can throw jump balls to Cam.
I was like, can you throw jump balls to Cam Coleman and give him a chance?
Like, so I think that I think the young fella has to play a little bit, but
there's probably some element to he hasn't really played a lot and much of it all. So get him comfortable there before putting him in that spot at night in that game, maybe potentially. But yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying there. All right, next one, Georgia at Georgia Tech, which is not at Georgia Tech. It's in Mercedes-Benz Friday afternoon, which I think it's cool that Friday we get the Egg Bowl, we get clean old-fashioned hate, and we get Texas A&M and Texas all on Friday.
So amazing. God, our weekend's even better than turkey and football on Thursday too. God, yes, please.
All right, let's revisit a what's more likely question we had earlier. Do you remember?
Okay.
I think it was after the Alabama game, and I asked you what's more likely: does Georgia go 8-4 or 10-2?
Yeah.
And you said 8-4 at that point
in time. So would have you. So would have everybody.
I mean, it was that feeling at that time was 100%. Very much different.
Like watching Georgia's offense the first couple games, like there's nobody that and their defense. There's nobody that realistically looked at Georgia and thought they were going to be what they turned out to be. Credit to coaching, to who they are, to what they are. Credit to development. Like we talk about Norvell and developing. Like so many young guys just continue to come. Elijah Griffin, right? Like the big fella in the middle. Like he's going to be a problem. He's going to be an animal. He's fun. He's got some Jalen Carter to his game. Like you watch him in the quick swims, and he's like Jalen didn't know how to do a lot of things as a freshman. Like you learn that stuff. Like that stuff that you continue to grow as you get older. But like the young players settled at corner. Gunnar Stockton continuing to improve, the offense to evolve to what they are, the offensive line to get healthy, because the offensive line was beat to crap in the beginning of the season. So absolute credit to Georgia and where they're at. But yeah, I think everybody saw Georgia early and was like, ew, this is not overwhelmingly impressive at all.
Just some numbers for Gunnar Stockton. He's the 10th highest graded quarterback overall in the Power 4. His over 90 passing grade against the blitz, third best in the Power 4. And his passing grade under pressure, fourth best in the Power 4. So talk about where he was versus where he is now.
If you didn't say, homie, if you didn't say 700 yards rushing, I was going to say Gunnar Stockton for your question. But when you said 700, I knew that it had to be somebody like Pavia. But yeah,
he's been
incredible.
Can Tech slow down Georgia enough? Because needless to say, their defense has not played well over the last month.
No, their pass rush isn't good. They're not elite in the back end. But you know what? Here's my recipe if I'm Georgia Tech. If I'm Georgia Tech, I want to keep the football. Like, I want to keep the football, and I want to possess it, and I want to run it with Haynes King. If Haynes King needs to carry it 65 times in this game, so be it, and I think he will. Like, he's going to carry it a lot. The weather will be great. He took a lot of shots last week. I was like, God, dadgum, man. He keeps taking shot after shot after shot. The pop passes, all of the things that they can do to kind of slow Georgia down a little bit. I'll be interested to watch Georgia this year, because if they do what they did last year, like, you're gonna give up 30 points. You're gonna get destroyed. Yep. If you line up and try to beat your guys are better than theirs and don't bring pressure, like, it's not gonna go well. If you play sound scheme the whole game and do all of this two gap and be predictable with your guys coming off the edge and spilling, like, it's not going to be fun. Like, they're going to have some more unpredictability to themselves, because this offense, they can really, if they know what you're doing, they'll just pick a scab at you. Like, they'll just pick it. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yep. I think they're going to do a lot what they did against Auburn in the second half. You see more even fronts, more sort of wide edge technique from them in this game, because that's not really something that they've done a lot in the past against teams like this.
I love what they did against Texas too, coming off the edge, like going straight to the quarterback, not spilling every single time. Like, just because again, if you're a play caller and I know what you're going to do, it doesn't mean I can beat your guys. And in the past, you couldn't beat Georgia's guys even when you knew what they were doing, because physically you couldn't hold up. That hasn't been the case the last two seasons with the Georgia defense, but like, you're starting to see a little more variation.
All right, Texas A&M at Texas on Friday.
Oh man, what a good
question.
Game.
I only got. I was gonna dive in numbers and all that sort of stuff, but I thought, no. Does this game matter at all?
Yes.
Like, in terms of the playoffs.
Yes.
In terms of the playoff.
No, but A&M needs to exercise this demon. A&M needs to beat Texas. Like, you get a chance to show Texas, like, who runs the state of Texas. And obviously, Texas Tech has a debate too, because they in this conversation, and obviously North Texas very much in this conversation. Don't forget them. But like, I think it means a lot. Like, you know, Texas A&M going.
I get
for
that. I was
12-0.
meaning more so specifically for the playoff.
No, I don't think it means a lot for the playoff unless we have some absolute madness, like some stupid craziness that happens. Because if Texas is in the debate, listen, you can at me and you can get upset. If Texas is in the debate with Utah for fighting for the last spot, like, I'd go Texas. I'd go Texas over Utah. I love you, Utah, but they've got better wins. They've been more impressive. Like, their losses aren't that bad either. Like, the Florida loss is horrible, but they didn't get curb stomped by daggum Texas Tech when they played a good team. Like, that didn't happen to them. But I think the way things have fallen right now, I don't think they're going to be in the debate, but I do think they have a chance to play a little bit of like, hey, hold my beer like Michigan did last year with Ohio State on the way out. Hold my beer. A&M might go win it, but your seed's going to be different.
Okay. All right. There's so many huge games this week to talk about. I picked 5, or even the ones, the quick 4 that we just talked about. Add to that Miami, Pittsburgh, Ole Miss, Miss State, Utah, Kansas, Oregon, Washington, LSU, Oklahoma. Is there anyone that you already have that kind of feeling like, this is like upset potential monkey wrench kind of game?
Heck yeah.
Early in the week.
I think Oklahoma can lose that game. Now, LSU's defense is good. Like, Oklahoma's offense, it should scare the piss out of you. Like, their defense obviously is going to do their job. Thank God they're at home. Like, I think that's a big deal being at home. But Oklahoma's offense, like, how many games can you score 23, 17? Like, how many games back-to-back weeks against really good teams where that's enough not to make mistakes? Like, and they haven't turned the ball over. That's going to come at some point too. And LSU, the back end, like, you don't think they can lock those receivers down? Like, that passing game that's really, really struggled, they're not great up for. Like, if I'm Oklahoma, I'm like, I got to hold my breath one more time. Like, because they got to win this game to be in. I don't think they're going to be. Now that's another debate too about Mateer and the losses. But if I'm Oklahoma, like, I'm a little bit nervous, man.
Okay, that's all I was looking for. Was mainly that one game where you're like, okay, it's a little squirrely already early in the week. I haven't really dove into it truly, but that's a monkey wrench game because, I mean, you think about a lot of this. There has to be outside of championship weekend. All these teams, it's not like anybody's really playing each other until then. So you got to have some level of chaos and you've got a lot of these higher ranked teams going on the road to non-ranked or lower ranked teams. And always when you go on the road, it's a little different story.
Road is always different. All right.
Like Alabama at Auburn.
Yeah.
That's one for me. That one's, yeah.
And Auburn fans would love that so much. I mean, they would take so much, like to knock them out of the playoff, like going into the off season where they're gonna like look for a reset and a new start, just to be able to be like, hey, y'all are staying home with us. You don't get to go either. Like, just it would be
one other thing. Actually, you think about it, it's still possible. It's still possible that Kalen DeBoer goes 9-3 and misses the playoffs 2 years in a row, and it's still possible that Cristobal goes 10-2 and misses the playoffs with the same record 2 years in a row.
Yep,
that's amazing to think.
Yeah. All right, victory formation. Who won the weekend? I got one for you. Katron Allen, now Penn State's all-time leading rusher. Congratulations. Stayed for his senior year. Continued to run like an absolute demon, even when the team technically had nothing to play for. Like, that's fun to watch, man. Like, fun to watch Terry Smith hold those guys together, get a dub this weekend, continue to fight. Katron Allen passes who, Brent? Who did Katron Allen pass for most yards in the history of Penn State rushing? 3,554 yards all time.
I mean, obviously Saquon, but Saquon played 3 years. So I was going to go say Kajana Carter.
Saquon, he passed in the game, and then Evan Royster.
Yeah, I would have never went there.
No, I didn't think so. I knew you'd say Saquon, but Saquon in 3 years, golly, you knew that dude was an absolute just Freaky Friday, ridiculous.
And I don't think Kajana Carter, like, he probably didn't have the early in the career stats.
Well, and keep in mind, too, championship games, playoffs, the seasons are longer, so your stats are better. Like, imagine Barry Sanders playing 17 games in a year. Ooh, buddy, that would have been stupid.
Very much so.
All right.
For me, Pat Narduzzi. He made the comments about, I don't care about Notre Dame. I don't care about whatever the score might be. I don't care. As long as we win the next two. Well, you'd have looked pretty much like a fool if you'd have not won at least the first one. And they got the first one. So if you're going to talk like that, back it up, have at it, and now you get your chance to play Miami and be sort of ultimate spoiler and potentially get yourself in the ACC championship game. So for me, Pat Narduzzi.
Got it. Grundle boy, I see you. LJ Martin, 222 on the ground. He was phenomenal. He wasn't the FCS all-time rusher for Penn State, but he was good.
BYU fans, the game was going on as we were doing our show. Like, the timing of it. We would have hit it all, we would have talked a lot about it, but it was like a big difference, and it was going on as we were doing the show. So we just didn't get to it.
It was a lot of LJ Martin, a lot of ground and pound. Wesley, I see something spectacular coming from you. I think it's going to be fantastic. What you got, brother?
Why are you yelling at me, bro? All right, I got the Mercer Bears. Mercer Bears winning the weekend, bro. 9-2 overall. Yeah, they got annihilated by Auburn, but who cares? Because they're SoCon champs. They're going to the playoffs. 9-2 overall this year. Bear down. That's all I got to say.
So Mercer lost by like 400, and you just gave them they won the weekend.
Who cares? They're going. They're
it's
a
like
six seed.
That's like Brent earlier, Mr. Numbers trying to tweak the numbers. Oh yeah, but like the team that's winning, like 20-year trend. Yeah, it's the team that was leading. Yeah, Brent, that was it the whole time.
They get the bye. Look, I started my local news career in Macon. All right. And I was there when Mercer started its football program back up. This is a microscopic photo for some reason, but that is the program from their first football game after coming back in 2013. And look at them now, baby. That's going amazing. To the FCS playoffs.
Can you pull a clip later so we can hear it later in the week too of you doing one of those? That would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, it sounded like a chipmunk. It sounded like I was on helium.
Isn't it crazy how much higher your voice is when you're younger? Like even in your 20s, late 20s, 30s, it's like you listen to that Reese Davis clip that we played when he came on. You're like, what happened to Reese? Like, his nuts just dropped that late? Like seriously? I mean, goodness gracious. All right.
Go
Well,
Bears.
Wesley. No. Wesley, don't you leave. You know, if you don't know I'm going to do this to you, you're absolutely not the sharpest tool in the shed. All right, tomorrow night reactions. What are we doing about Thanksgiving this week? We're not going to do Thanksgiving night probably, are we? Or
No.
Thanksgiving Day okay.
No,
All right.
we're not going to do that. But we are going to do the CFP reaction tomorrow, right? You're not
Sweet.
traveling anywhere.
Nope.
So we'll do that. We'll do our picks Wednesday and hopefully have a guest Wednesday night. So, yeah, we're not slowing down. We'll slow down Thursday for Thanksgiving, even though you're bringing your own chips to the table or whatever you're doing.
Masa chips. Masa chips are the best chips in the world, not fried. It's just they're good chips, man.
All right. But we'll be back. We'll do Friday night.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got some reactions we'll want to do Friday night and Saturday as well. So a lot of live fun here on C-Ball Get Ball. Appreciate y'all. You got anything else?
No. Bang, bang.
All right.
Thank y'all.